Hey everyone, this is P4L. In today's P4L review, we'll be taking an early look at a pre-production sample of the Ocular Max Perfection Series PS-03 Backdraft, their version of a masterpiece Studio Ox inspired Inferno. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some quick disclaimers. As I said, this is a pre-production sample, which means the items here aren't final. These are actually even final run production samples, so there are some tolerances and some other things that are probably going to be fixed and improved upon before the final release. I know this is already going into assembly, but again, this is not from that kind of final production batch. So let's get started with packaging and review. So I actually got packaging with this pre-production sample, which is really nice. I don't have everything that's going to come with this guy, but I'll give you an idea of what you're going to expect. So the box itself is really well designed in the same style as Sphinx, done by Chogo King. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a really talented box artist. I think far and away Mastermind Creations and by extension Ocular Max have the best boxes and box design and box art of any third-party company right now. I really like it. The artwork's really nice. The layout's really retro and kind of cool and fun. Even here you can see the transformation. I think that's kind of more Diaclone inspired look to the box. And if you look down here, you actually get the retro kind of stats. But they went above and beyond, and they actually got a little decoder, so you can go ahead and lay that over the red area here, the pink area, and you can actually see the strength, intelligence, speed, endurance, rank, courage, firepower, and skill on a 1 to 10 scale, which is very cool, very retro. You also get the same kind of bio back here. The bottom of the box really just has some warning labels and information. So yeah, while this isn't the final, the box itself should be pretty close to final. So let's get this guy open and see what it's all about. So here he is out of packaging. While there's a bunch of stuff that he does come with. He comes with his instruction manual, which is kind of like Hasbro style, really long, fold out. Shows you instructions on how to get from alt to robot, as well as some additional accessories like the head, which we got here. This is the kind of toy accurate head. We'll look into that in a little bit more detail later and how to install that. You also get the bio card or stack card, whatever you want to call it. You get some information, very much in the MP style. Just a cardboard card, not plastic. The decoder. And the only thing that I didn't get with this is the decal sheet. And the decal sheet, which I'm going to show you the instructions right around here somewhere, is there's going to be two options. There's going to be the Portland Fire Department option as well as the Diaclone option. So you're going to have decals that go over here and up here and on the front door to your liking. So if you're a Diaclone style, then you can do that. If you want to have kind of more of a G1 style, you'll have that option as well. The clamshell itself is reminiscent of the clamshell that we got with Mastermind Creations Seraph Perminion in the way it opens, the trailer. And here he is out of packaging. And he looks really nice. I think the problem I've had with a lot of Infernos is that they don't do a very good job of hiding the arms in alt mode, and they're just kind of hanging out, like the Robots in Disguise, some other third-party figures. They had the arms just kind of hanging out very obviously. This does a really good job of hiding that. A lot of chrome details on like these horns, these I don't even know what these are here, these kind of pipe area. You get some on this rear, I think, hose. You get some paint apps all over the place. Like I said, this is a pre-production sample, so there is actually a decent amount of paint wear on this, but I think most of this was hand painted. You also get a lot of silver paint here, details and chrome all along the front. Even this, this really thin piece of silver here is really well done. The windows are translucent, but they're really dark, so they're almost like black. I could barely tell. On the bottom, you don't get a lot of robot mode going on. It's actually pretty well hidden. You actually have storage for the gun here, the rifle, which is nice. The tires are rubber, and he does roll pretty well. The only complaint I have is kind of in the back. While they did a cool job of making the exhaust pipes out of his kind of head wings. It is open and hollow back here, which is kind of disappointing, to be perfectly honest. It would have been nice to have that filled up. But in terms of overall look, you know, even like this gap here looks like the animation model, which you're seeing at the top right or top left of the screen, depending on where I decide to put that. Really, really nice. Some other features, he does have die cast, like these support struts that come out on either side, so that it actually stays stable to the ground as far as a realistic fire truck goes. Again, he does have some functionality here. The ladder itself comes in 3 sections, so it extends out pretty far. It can rotate on this swivel here, 360, and then it has a little piston piece that's actually functioning. It doesn't connect anywhere, but it does give you a sense of realism if you want to display it like that. And that all tucks in nice and cleanly. So on the top, again, really, really clean alt mode. So other quick features, the side view mirrors do open and close if you want to do that for transformation. The doors actually do open. There's a little small tab here that you can use to kind of get your fingernail in. This pre-production sample has gone through its fair share of opening and closing, so the paint's wearing off of that. So I hope the paint is a little bit more robust, or the tab is a little bit bigger to make it easier for you. Alternatively, the easier way I think is to open this up. You just reach back behind the cab, open that up, and that gives you a little bit more access to open the door. You can go ahead and take your spike from MP10, curl them up, and you actually can sit inside. So while the alt mode scale is small for an actual fire truck, it ends up working pretty well for the MP line. Actually, I should have opened up this side, since this is the Japanese version of the fire truck. The steering wheel is on this side, so yeah, we should make sure he's sitting there to at least give the illusion that somebody's driving the the fire truck. And like I said, you can see in through there. You can barely see spike in there because the windows are translucent. So let's go ahead and get into some comparisons. I don't have a lot as far as comparisons go. He is small for an actual fire truck. He should be much larger. Here he is with MP Prowl. Oh, I'm sorry, Streak. MP Streak, the Datsun mold. And you can see this car is fairly small. Definitely not nowhere near like 80% the length of an actual fire truck. But they obviously had to make sacrifices to scale with his robot mode, which I think is the primary function that this guy's going to serve for most of our collections. And I think that's a good trade-off. I've said on social media and on the forums that, you know, the other companies have gone with a little bit bigger in terms of robot mode to get a little bit bigger alt mode. I think that is not a trade-off that I'd be willing to make, but you do have some other options there. And obviously the official masterpiece Inferno has been teased, not officially announced. So you're going to have a lot of different options, 3 or 4 different options when it comes to an MP Inferno in the near future. Let's go ahead and go into transformation, alt to robot transformation. The transformation is really well engineered on this guy. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we'll do is just lift this up, push the piston up there for now. And let me zoom out just a little bit. From here, the first thing we're going to do is these little side panels that actually hide the arms. You're going to slide them back on both sides. Thusly, you're going to unpeg. There's 2 small pegs that hold the cannons in place. You can unpeg that. You can unpeg this section, number of pegs there. And then the arms, the easiest way to do it is you have to separate these outside shells. I hold on to the elbow here, or this white circle which makes up the elbow, and then pull up on that, like that. And once you have that done, that frees up the arms from the bottom of the alt mode, which ends up being the legs. So let's straighten this out like that. And we're going to deal with the rifle really quickly, just because it kind of gets in the way. It's pegged in underneath here. Just go ahead and untab it. It does extend for robot mode, but it doesn't actually stay in place, which is kind of a bummer. It would have been nice to have a definitive kind of click either way to hold it into place. So we'll just put that off to the side. On the legs, the first thing we'll do is go ahead and push up on the foot to form the foot. Just straighten that out like so. This little section will fold up to form the heels, and then the legs kind of accordion down, and there's a tab and slot here that goes in place, and that forms the legs. Very easy. Coming to the crotch piece, this actually folds up, rotates around, flips open, and then you have a tab and tab slot there that goes into place like that. Let's go ahead and deal with the arms first. You're going to open up this side section and then the actual door. Once you have that done, you're going to come to the arms. I like to rotate them first, like that. Then rotate them to the side. You can close the front doors. And once you do that, don't forget this, it's easy to miss. It's actually on a sliding, the shoulders are on a sliding mechanism, so you're going to slide them forward to the front of the cab. Do that with both arms, and that'll give you the clearance needed to close up the two back sections. Right here, you kind of have a Optimus kind of reveal head. Flip that up. There we go. You're going to get the shoulders rotated down. Get these little chrome pieces rotated up. And then the forearms are going to rotate outward. Since we're already here, we can go ahead and form the fist by opening up the back panel, flipping this around, closing it up. And you have that option with both hands or fists if you want. I'm just going to do the left hand because I think that's show accurate. Once you have that done, we're going to deal with kind of the backpack. And this part is pretty cool how it all works. It's really well designed. So you're going to open up these chrome pipe pieces. You're going to accordion this down. So this is going to flip, this black piece is going to flip down. This chrome piece is going to go in like that, and you'll hear that snap into place. Get that situated downwards. And before we close this up, we're going to deal with all this stuff on the bottom. So this piece here, you're going to flip out like this, and that'll give you room to swivel or rotate this entire chrome piece all the way down. So you want to get it all the way down like that, and you'll get this flat side facing up. That is what will allow you to collapse these two halves together, and they should leave like very little or no gap there. Alright, once that's done, come back around. You're gonna, I guess it's easier to show you here. You're gonna swing this up and then flip it out like that. And that'll form his little head wings. And to finish off the backpack, you have this tab on this armature that goes into the middle of his back. And when you plug that, when you tab that in, you'll bring this section up to form the kind of collar. And there's two sets of tabs formed that go into his shoulder pieces there. There we go, and you'll hear that definitive click. Just make sure this is all collapsed into place, and you can rotate this around forward if you'd like. And the last thing you're going to do with the ladder is there's one set of tabs here and there, and slots in the middle of his back. So you're going to want to collapse that up, and then it doesn't tab in securely, it's more like a sitting place. But then you have this whole backpack section really nicely condensed. It's really well engineered. And there we go. We have Inferno, Backdraft in robot mode. And I think he looks fantastic. I think he looks really, really, really G1 toy accurate, as well as show accurate. Right now he's featuring his smiling cartoon accurate head sculpt. Again, we'll go into the toy one in a bit. So bring out the gun, you can fold that out, pull that out, open up the fist, and you can see he has MP style tabs for the grip. There we go. Close that up. And then you have his gun. Looking very nice. It has a couple of painted details there, but overall it's pretty well detailed. Pretty plain. I don't really care that much about having overly detailed guns, but it does look very, very nice. So let's do a quick 360. Again, his silhouette is really, really compact. Getting all that backpack to condense down to this little piece here is really, really nice. Nice, solid legs. You get a little bit of a hollowness in the back here, but it's not all that noticeable. And the front, when I first looked at this this version of Inferno, I thought his lower section, or especially his hip area, was really long, and I think it was just the photos, because looking at it now, it's not long at all. So I think they did a really exceptional job on that. So let's look at some of the details. So looking at the head sculpt, you can see it's kind of a smiling version of Inferno's head with the three kind of protrusions. It is on a ball joint, and you can get it all the way around. And to replace it, we're going to do that in a bit. You're going to go ahead and take a screwdriver Phillips head and unscrew the two halves. But it is on a ball joint. He gets a lot of up, a decent amount of down. He does have his head bobble, and he doesn't get the collar in the way, so there's no interference there, which is really nice. As far as other articulation goes, his wings do kind of move around. They can fold into places. His shoulders can go up like that. Can go all the way around. You can hear the soft ratchets. Oh, you can actually collapse the side view mirrors a bit too. They fold kind of into place. He does have bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. His wrist is on a swivel. His thumb is on a ball joint right here. All his fingers are individually pinned, so you can get all of them in different positions. The trigger finger has an additional pin at one joint, so kind of like a MP10 style. He does feature some cool bonus articulation, like he does have a waist ab crunch, but it can also go back. And this section is kind of weird. This chrome section here covers up the gap, but also moves out of the way so your crotch piece doesn't get in the way of his ab crunch, which is nice. He does have full waist articulation going all the way around. The ladder does not get in the way whatsoever. His crotch piece is on, I think they're ball joints. Yeah, they might be ball joints. Yeah, they look like they're on ball joints. They get out of the way so that you can get access to his ratcheted hips. Really stiff ratchets. You can go quite far back. Ratchets going out to the side. Much softer than the forward and back, but enough to hold a lot of the die cast, which is residing in his foot. He has double jointed knees. He has one joint here, and then another one if you keep going back, so he can almost kick himself in the butt. He has a thigh swivel, ratcheted. He doesn't have a foot swivel. He does have a lot of other articulation, so he has a lot of ankle. Yeah, man, he's gonna definitely break his ankle there. You can go back really far, and you can go forward a tiny bit, maybe not at all. It's kind of 90 degrees, but he has this extra joint here, so you get some toe articulation. As far as diecast goes, he does have diecast all along here. I think the whole foot, except for this piece here, is all diecast. So a lot of weight and heft, and this guy is highly posable. You can see he can go roller skating and do that roller skating limbo contest, no problem. With that extra like foot articulation, that toe articulation, he does get some kind of cool posability. Look at that. He's pulling like a moonwalker, like lean right now. What else is there to really say? I think the only thing I noticed was I think the hose is actually rotated the wrong way in terms of complete accuracy with the G1 show animation as well as the toy. I think that might be the only thing that looks off, but you know, the feet with the wheels here, the thighs, everything looks just really spot on in both modes. All right, so let's go ahead and do the head install. Really, like I said, it's very basic. You're just going to go ahead and flip the head around. You might want to untab the shoulder collar to get a little bit more access, but just go ahead and unscrew that. Pull the front and back half off. So when you get the head apart, you're going to want to put the ball joint in. Just be careful with the back half since it houses the two kind of antenna pieces, if that's what you want to call it. And those the antenna pieces are separate pieces because they actually articulate so that you can fit the head into alt mode. So you're gonna kind of squish them to get into alt mode, and then spread them out when you get into robot mode. So I'm not gonna put it on too tight right now. But there we go. This one's more straight face. I actually like the face sculpt on this one better, but I really prefer the head on this. The head itself is a little bit smaller as well in terms of total face size and everything like that. In terms of height, he's about yay big, which I think scales quite well with MP10. And then bringing in Ironhide, just because I was using him for comparisons with a Ratchet, MP Ratchet, not too long ago. And I think this height works pretty well. They're supposed to be pretty similar in size. So transformation backwards is a little bit more complex because there's a lot more tabs, but let's go ahead and get started with the fist. Rotate that in. And you actually don't need to transform the fist if you don't want to when you transform back, but this is the correct transformation. And we're going to rotate the arms in like this. Let's go ahead and deal with the backpack. Pull that up, untab the collar, extend this while pulling this entire backpack out of the back. Once you do that, flip these chrome pieces up. You can flip the head in. Oh, and again, so his antenna spread out for robot mode, and then you can push them together to be a little bit more compact to fit in for alt mode. These pieces, I'm going to rotate them down like this for now. Spread this section out like so. Get that chrome piece rotated all the way back so it sits flat like that. And this is all going to kind of collapse in like this. Oh, before you do that, if you want to store the gun, we're going to want to collapse the gun, and then you'll use the little T section here with the handle. And secure that into place. Make sure it gets really deep in there. That's what she said. I feel like I'm saying that with all my reviews nowadays. And you're going to fold these in like this. Alright, dealing with the arms. We're going to rotate at the shoulders up like this. And then flip these chrome pieces down. And then rotate them forward like this. So the chrome pieces are facing forward. Open up the back sections here. Remember to slide the shoulders back on this sliding joint. You do technically need to open these front doors. There's a little bit of interference, but really you can probably rotate the shoulders without opening the front doors. Once you get those arms around like this, collapse it like so. And just to make sure, if you rotated the lower arms as well as the shoulders the way I instructed you to, this is how it should look with these screws on the outside of the arm, not on the inside, because they will cause interference. Like they sit a little bit closer together if you rotate it the other way. So you need to make sure that the arms are in this orientation, or you're going to cause yourself a little bit of headache later on. These are going to come in, and you'll see these small little nubs there. They're going to plug in later, but we're going to deal with that after we deal with the lower body. So lower body, flip this down, rotate those up, rotate the entire section down, and go between the thighs like that. Once you have that done, you're going to come right down to the lower legs. You're going to flip open these heels, untab the inner part of the legs, right there, and right there. Now you can rotate the ankles so that the back of the fire truck is kind of formed. From here, you're going to rotate the entire lower body up like this. That weird kind of ab piece, you're going to want to fold that closed. There's no stopping point, so just make sure you don't fold it up too much or it looks kind of goofy. From here, you're going to go ahead and wrap the forearms with these shell pieces. There's a little black piece on the forearm that goes into the slots. Once you have that done, get those nubs in the far back here. Can you see that? Far back into the tips of the blasters. Close up the legs. Make sure these kind of exhaust pipes and wings sit in the middle like that. And you'll see there's a 1, 2 tabs back here. But once you slide this section, these covers, to cover the arms on both sides forward, you'll actually have a third tab. And then you'll tab all 3 of those down into the silver section. Rotate that however, the 2 arms also tab together like this. And once you have all that done, you can get that little piston piece, just position it down like that and it'll reside between the 2 arms in alt mode. These little sliding pieces are supposed to tab into the front here. They don't hold all that well into place in this copy. I'm not sure if that's going to be better in the final version or not, but it would have been better if they tabbed in just a bit better there. They seem to, oh, actually that one's, oh, see, once I laid it down, it came undone. But a very minor thing. I think it would have been better just to not have a tab there at all and just have it sliding into place, since you already have a tab down here securing it. In any case, that's just a little minor nitpick that I have. But there we go. That is transformation for Backdraft. And by and large, my final thoughts on this figure are that it's a really nice figure. It's really well designed. The sculpt is really well done as well. The only things that I probably don't like on this figure are I don't like the smiling face all that much. I mean, it's okay, but I actually like the sculpt on the more robotic sculpt on the toy face. If that face was on this head, I think I would prefer it. But again, minor quibble. Otherwise, I think it's really, really well done. There's not a lot to complain about. The fact that an official MP version, as well as I think 2 other third-party companies, are tackling this. Obviously, Make Toys has already released theirs. Their what do they call that? I don't remember what they call that. Their Inferno and Grapple. I think this is a better version than the Make Toys one. But I think that's just because I think the proportions are not as like bulky, and it looks much more accurate in cartoon mode to me. But that's my opinion. I also thought the upcoming X-Transbots one looked really nice, but that one's really, really big, especially in robot mode. It's as tall as Optimus, which is not right, or at least doesn't feel right to me. It might be okay for you guys. But yeah, that's it for the review. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. As always, if you liked the review, please give it a like, share, or subscribe. And if you want to pick this guy up for your collection, go ahead and click on the Toy Dojo link in the description below. This guy should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'll actually be at Cyber City Con in San Antonio next week with this sample. So if you guys are going to be there and I'll be there, go ahead and check this guy out, ask me any questions there, and say hello. All right. Thanks to Mastermind Creations / Ocular Max for letting me preview this and doing the official video instructions for that. I should have mentioned that before because people get kind of bent out of shape because I don't do it all the time. I am the official video manual creator for the Mastermind Creations Ocular Max lines for their figures. So I do work with them in that capacity. I don't mix and match like my opinions on the review are totally separate than the work I'm doing for the video manual, but I like to lay that out there just in case you guys want to take whatever I say with a grain of salt, which if you want to, I totally understand. Alright, so I'm at least putting it out there so you guys have that information. Anyway, that's all for today, everyone. Hope you have a good one.